It happened on a Saturday afternoon. The kind of day that should have been warm and forgettable. Balloons bobbing gently in the breeze. Cupcakes with sparkles. Shrieks of sugar-fueled kids echoing through a neatly manicured backyard. My sister Vanessa's backyard, to be exact, her perfect little slice of curated suburbia in Savannah, Georgia. The invitation said celebration. I should have known better. Vanessa threw birthday parties like she was hosting the Met Gala for toddlers. Custom decorations, color-coded table spreads, an actual bounce house shaped like a castle. But for all the effort and expense, there was always something chilling beneath the surface. Something that told you this wasn't about the kids. It was about control, applause, superiority. Still, I brought Lily, my daughter, 7 years old and softer than clouds. She had spent the entire morning choosing her sparkly galaxy headband, the one she said made her feel like a floating star. She had practiced saying happy birthday in the mirror, twice, and even made handmade cards for each cousin, covered in tiny, uneven stars. I told her she didn't have to go. She insisted. She was braver than me. We arrived right on time. Vanessa kissed us on the cheek, too quickly to mean it. Her voice was sugar, but her eyes were cold. My mother was already there, standing near the drink station, nursing a mimosa and pretending not to notice us. My father gave a single nod before returning to carving a watermelon like he was performing surgery. That was our welcome. So we did what we always did, found a quiet spot near the snack table, and kept to ourselves. Lily clung to my arm at first, then slowly inched toward the other kids. She offered her cards shyly, smile trembling but hopeful. I watched her face like a storm tracker, waiting for signs of collapse, but she was holding steady. I even caught her laughing once, chasing a bubble wand trail. And then came the gift bags. Vanessa gathered the children with theatrical flair. Each bag was personalized, glitter names, bows, little charms that matched each child's interests. She handed them out like medals of honor. The other parents clapped and cooed. Then she handed Lily a plain, white paper bag. No glitter, no bow, no name, just a crooked yellow sticky note slapped on the front. 5 words. Try harder next year. Smiley face. Lily blinked. She read it again, as if maybe she'd misread. As if maybe there was a punchline coming that would make it funny. Her small hand reached into the bag. A broken crayon, a used eraser, a single peppermint unwrapped and slightly sticky. That was it. I felt the breath freeze in my chest. Lily's hand found mine under the table. Her fingers were shaking. Then came the laughter. Vanessa went first. That high, shrill laugh she does when she's daring someone to challenge her. She's been acting out lately, she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Interrupting, whining, talking back. This is just a little wake-up call. Right, Lily? My mother chuckled. Honestly, it's good for her. Hannah, you baby her too much. Even my father grunted a low, uncomfortable sound that I think was supposed to be a laugh. And the other kids? They laughed too, because kids do that. They follow the adults. Lily tried to smile. That tight, thin smile children do when they're trying not to cry. My husband, Noah, was beside her in an instant. He crouched down, took the bag from her hand gently and said, "You don't need this, sweetheart. Let's go get some real cake." And we left. No scene, no shouting, just silence. We walked out of that perfect little party like we were walking out of a burning building. No one stopped us. No one called after us. Not even Vanessa. Lily didn't say much on the way home. She sat in the back seat, staring out the window, still clutching that crumpled birthday card like it could make sense of what just happened. Her sparkly headband had slipped sideways, half covering one eye. She didn't fix it. She just sat there, silent. I kept checking the rearview mirror, hoping she'd look up, give me some sign, anything. But she was somewhere else entirely. Somewhere quieter, somewhere colder. At home, She curled up on the couch under the soft throw blanket Noah gave her last Christmas, the one with the words, "You are safe. You are strong. You are loved," stitched in blue across the edge. She didn't take off her shoes. She didn't touch the snacks I brought out. She just held the card to her chest and asked, almost whispering, "Was it because I didn't say thank you fast enough?" That's when something cracked inside me. Not loudly, not all at once, just this small, almost imperceptible fracture. "No, sweetheart," I said, kneeling beside her. "It was because some people forget how to be kind." She nodded once, then tucked the card beneath her chin, like it might protect her while she slept. She was asleep within minutes. Noah made tea. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at nothing while steam rose in lazy curls between us. We didn't talk. We didn't have to. This wasn't new. Just final. After a while, he said quietly, I paused the payments. Rent, grocery card, electric fund, all of it. I didn't flinch. I didn't need to ask which ones. I knew. My sister's rent, my parents' groceries, the silent bills we've been covering for years, the things no one ever thanked us for. Only expected. I stood up, walked to the drawer where we kept the important stuff. It was a mess of tax folders, spare keys, old receipts, and one thick, gray binder. The folder. It started out small. A copy of an old text from Vanessa asking if I could watch her kids for a week so she could recenter her soul on a solo trip to Miami. Screenshots of Venmo payments labeled property tax for mom plus dad, followed by, "We'll pay you back after the cruise," which they never did. Photos, emails, voice memos, proof of everything we had quietly done, quietly covered, quietly endured, and now on top. I placed the sticky note, "Try harder next year." I slid it into a clear sleeve, right in front, like the title page of a very long, very personal book. Noah watched me, didn't say a word, but when our eyes met, he gave a single, deliberate nod. Not like someone giving permission. Like someone saying, finally. I wanted to cry. I didn't. Instead, I opened my laptop. The cursor blinked at me. Steady, insistent. I began typing. No flourish. No emotion. Just the truth. To the landlord, we will no longer be responsible for any portion of the lease at 14 Marigold Court. To the loan company, we are removing ourselves from financial liability. Our names were co-signers. That ends now. To the school, a formal notice that my daughter is to have no further contact with Vanessa Blake. And then silence again. Except this time it was different. Not the kind of silence where you hold your breath, waiting for the next hit. This silence felt like space being cleared, like something was finally breaking open. It didn't start with Lily. That's the part that still scrapes at my ribs when I let myself sit with it too long. It never should have reached her. She should have been the first to be safe. But it started with me. Growing up in that house meant reading the air before you learned to read a book. It meant silencing parts of yourself before anyone else even noticed them. It meant shrinking to fit the space you were allowed, and still being told you took up too much room. Vanessa was the favorite. Not officially, of course. My parents would never admit to anything so cruel. But favoritism doesn't need words. It's in the tilt of a voice, the softness of a glance, the way your name is said like punctuation, and hers like poetry. When I got A, B+ in math after months of struggling, my dad said, "Your sister never got less than an A." When I landed the lead in our school play, they didn't come. Vanessa had volleyball practice. Not a tournament, just practice. One year, we had a joint birthday party, even though our birthdays were nearly 2 months apart. My name was scrawled on the cake like a footnote. The gift we shared? Rollerblades. Vanessa's size. It wasn't physical. No bruises. No slaps. Just a dull ache that never left. The kind that tells you you're not enough. Not quite. Not ever. I remember once in 3rd grade, coming home beaming, holding a certificate for perfect attendance. I'd fought through fevers and stomach aches just to earn it. My mom glanced at it and said, "Vanessa got Student of the Month, you know. That's more impressive." When I was 15, I came home crying. A teacher accused me of cheating. I hadn't. I was devastated. My mother's response? "Well, you do keep to yourself a lot. Maybe you look suspicious. Try to smile more next time." At 17, I finally gathered enough courage to tell her I thought I might be depressed. I expected concern, maybe even a hug. She rolled her eyes. "That's the new thing now, isn't it? Everyone thinks they're depressed. You're just bored. Get a hobby." Vanessa laughed, said I was being dramatic, then borrowed my phone charger and never gave it back. By the time I left for college, I was numb. I didn't expect them to show up on move-in day. They didn't. A week later, I got a card in the mail. $25. And a sticky note. "Don't blow it." So I didn't. I got through college. Found therapy. Learned the language of trauma, emotional neglect, scapegoating, passive-aggressive control. I learned how to unlearn it. And when I met Noah, I still apologized for crying during movies. He didn't tease. He just handed me a tissue and said, "That part hit hard, huh?" He was the first person who ever asked what I wanted for my birthday and actually listened. Not guessed, not assumed, listened. When I told him about my family, I tried to make it sound quirky, harmless, dysfunctional in a "don't we all have problems" kind of way. He didn't push, but the first time he met them, I remember he squeezed my hand under the table. Later that night, after we left, he said, "You weren't exaggerating." And still, when Lily was born, I let them back in. I told myself she deserved cousins, holidays, grandparents who'd dote on her. I told myself the past was the past. But it wasn't. It was just hiding in better lighting. It started slow, like all familiar dangers do. A quiet comment here, a dismissive glance there. At first, I brushed it off. I wanted so badly to believe it was nothing. Vanessa, eyeing Lily's outfit one day, said, "She dresses a little offbeat, doesn't she?" Kids these days. My mother, when Lily hesitated to hug someone at Thanksgiving, leaned down and whispered, "Don't be rude, sweetie. Give Uncle Bill a proper hug." And my father, when Lily cried at the loud pop of a balloon during a family picnic, chuckled and said, "She'd better toughen up if she wants to survive in this family." I tried to explain. I told them about Lily's sensory sensitivities, how certain sounds overwhelmed her, how too much pressure could make her shut down. I told them she didn't need fixing. She needed understanding. They rolled their eyes. "You're overreacting," my mom said. "She's fine," Vanessa smirked. "She's just like you," my father muttered, not kindly. And when I stood up for Lily, they turned it on me. "She just wants to feel important," I heard my mother say to Vanessa, not realizing I was standing behind the hallway door. "Let her have this," as if protecting my daughter was a performance, as if it was just a phase I needed to burn out of my system. I swallowed it, again and again. I let it go more times than I can count, because some part of me still believed they might come around. That maybe if I modeled patience, compassion, they'd mirror it back. That maybe they'd finally see Lily, not as a reflection of me, not as a problem to correct, but as her own luminous, beautiful self. But they didn't see her. They saw what they wanted to see. A child too soft, too emotional, too much. And slowly, they started trying to shape her. My mother began insisting Lily say, "Yes, ma'am," even when she didn't understand the request. Vanessa teased her for using baby words when she asked for quiet space. My father bought her a football for Christmas and said, "Time to grow a spine." Lily stopped wearing her sparkly headbands to family events. She started asking me, "Do I have to go this time?" She began apologizing for crying, for feeling, for being. I kept telling her she didn't have to be anyone but herself. that she was brave and kind and whole exactly as she was. But I saw it happening. That quiet shrinking. That silent calculation in her eyes when someone new walked into the room. That small pause before speaking, like she was checking for danger. And then came that party. That bag. That note. I think I knew, somewhere deep in my bones, that they would eventually try to break her the way they broke me. Maybe I just didn't expect them to do it, so publicly, so proudly, with laughter. They didn't just cross a line that day. They set it on fire. And something inside me, something that had been quiet for too long, finally stood up. Not just for Lily, but for the girl I used to be. The one who kept waiting for someone to come and tell her she was enough. No one ever came for that girl. So I came for her daughter. We didn't sleep much that night. Lily had drifted off sometime after midnight, her little body curled up beneath her blanket, fingers still clutching the birthday card she made for her cousins. It was bent at the corners now, smudged from her palms. But she wouldn't let go. I sat on the couch in the dark, watching the cursor blink on my laptop screen like it was daring me to finish what I'd started. Outside, the streetlight flickered, humming a low, tired buzz. The world was asleep, but something inside me had finally woken up. At 4:07 a.m., I sent the first email to the landlord who managed Vanessa's duplex. The arrangement had been unofficial but understood. The rent was always paid on time. From our account, I wrote, effective immediately, we will no longer be contributing to the lease at 14 Marigold Court. Please update the payment schedule accordingly. He replied within 20 minutes. Understood. I'll notify the tenant of the updated balance today. No emotion, no fanfare, just logistics. The truth, delivered quietly. At 4:49 a.m., Noah drafted the letter to the auto loan company. It was our credit that had co-signed the car, our money that had covered the down payment. The same car Vanessa had defaulted on, twice before we stepped in. She always promised to get caught up next month. This time we weren't stepping in. We were stepping out. By 6:02 a.m., the printer was humming. Pages fed out one by one. Screenshots of texts, emails, group messages. The one where Vanessa called Lily fragile. The one where she wrote, she's going to be just like her mom. Oversensitive and exhausting. And then there was the voice memo. Christmas, 2 years ago. My husband had been recording a sweet family moment. He caught my mother, not realizing she was in range of the mic, leaning in and saying to Vanessa, "Don't bother getting her anything nice. She never appreciates it anyway." They were talking about me. By 7 a.m., everything was printed, labeled, and placed into a thick folder. I bound it with a crimson ribbon I found in the junk drawer. It was from one of Vanessa's old party supply kits. I didn't plan that part. It just felt right. At 7:30, we got in the car. The streets were still quiet, the sun barely rising over the Spanish moss that hung heavy from the trees. Savannah has that kind of beauty, soft and heavy, like an old secret. We pulled up to Vanessa's house. No words, just action. Noah walked up the steps. He placed the folder gently on the doormat, rang the bell once, and walked away. We were halfway down the street when we heard it. A scream. Not the kind of scream that calls for help. This was something deeper. Something unhinged. Like rage finally uncorked. Like shame finally touched daylight. Vanessa. She burst out the front door, barefoot, still in her robe, clutching the folder like it might burn through her skin. Her face was blotched with fury. Her mouth moved too fast for her thoughts to catch up. The neighbor came out in his slippers, squinting in confusion. He called the police. When the officers arrived, Vanessa was pacing the lawn like a storm. She shoved the folder at them and cried, "This is harassment! My crazy sister's trying to destroy my life." They flipped through the pages. Calmly, quietly, one of them looked up and said, "Ma'am, this appears to be a civil matter. Nothing illegal here. Just truth. Just consequences." By noon, my phone had exploded. 38 messages from Vanessa. The first few were all caps. What the hell is wrong with you? You think this is funny? Then came the guilt. We're family. You can't do this to us. Then the begging. Please, you can't just stop paying because of a joke. Then the threats. If you don't take this back, you'll regret it. My mother called 4 times that day. She left one voicemail on the third try. Her voice was tight, controlled, the kind of tone she used when she wanted to sound calm, but couldn't hide the splinter underneath. You've taken this too far. This family has always had problems, but you just lit a match. What do you want from us, Hannah? She sounded more angry than sorry, more inconvenienced than remorseful. I didn't respond. Instead, I sent a digital copy of the folder, every screenshot, every memo, every receipt to our extended family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, people who had no idea why we'd stopped showing up to Christmas or why Lily always looked anxious at reunions. I didn't explain. No essay, no long caption, just a subject line, in case you ever wondered. By the end of the day, 20 replies. Half of them said some version of, I had no idea. One cousin sent a single line, good for you. But the real fallout started 2 weeks later. The landlord followed through. Vanessa had 30 days to cover the full rent or face eviction. The loan company sent her a final warning. Her late payments had triggered a review. The car she used for everything? Under scrutiny now, and not under her name. Noah showed me the notification with a quiet, satisfied smile. Then my parents called him. Not me. My mom's voice was tight with desperation. She won't listen to us, Noah. Maybe she'll listen to you. Tell her we're sorry. Tell her she doesn't have to do this. He didn't raise his voice. He just said, she's not doing this to you. You did this to yourselves. The next morning, they showed up at our house. Lily saw them through the window first. Her face went pale. She clutched the edge of the curtain, then whispered, Do I have to talk to them? I shook my head. No, baby, you don't. I met them at the door. My father started, We just want to talk. This is getting out of hand. No, I said. This is called consequences. My mother's eyes brimmed, but the tears wouldn't fall. Not real ones. She reached into her purse and pulled out a sympathy card. One of those generic store-bought ones with lilies and soft blue lettering. Inside it said, We miss our family. I sent it back later that afternoon, with a sticky note tucked inside. So did I. That night, Lily sat curled on the couch, her legs tucked under a blanket, flipping through an art book. She looked peaceful, safe. She glanced up and asked, Were they mad? I paused. They were loud, I said. That's not the same thing. She nodded, like she understood more than a 7-year-old should. We didn't celebrate. We just breathed, and in that quiet breathing, there was something new, something almost sacred. Peace. For about a week it lasted. Then came the final crack. 10 days after the folder landed on Vanessa's porch, Lily came home from school with a note folded into her backpack. Pastel pink stationery, hearts on the corners. Inside, if you ever feel sad or confused, remember Auntie Vanessa loves you. You can call me anytime, even if your mom says no. Lily looked up, confused. Did I do something wrong again? The fury that rose in my throat was sharp and immediate. This wasn't just boundary crossing. This was manipulation. I called the school. Turns out, Vanessa had used one of her friend's names to get access to the front office. Said she was dropping something off for a niece. No ID check. No oversight. Just a sticky smile and a lie. That afternoon, I filed a no-contact order with the school, with the district, with the police. Then I called my lawyer. We sent formal cease and desist letters to both Vanessa and my parents. Digital. Certified mail. No room for misunderstanding. 2 days later, a fake Instagram account started tagging me in posts. Photos from my childhood. Blurry shots of me and Vanessa in matching dresses. Captions like, "Some people forget who raised them." An anonymous message landed in my inbox. "Just remember, kids grow up. One day she'll know what you did." That was it. The line. The final deliberate cruelty. I sent everything to my lawyer. Every screenshot. Every message. The note in Lily's backpack. The fake account. The threats. The childhood photos turned into weapons. He forwarded it all to law enforcement. We didn't hear from Vanessa for a while after that. But she didn't disappear quietly. She posted a selfie, crying, of course, captioned, "When your own family turns on you." Cue the sympathy parade. Friends commenting, "You're so strong. They'll regret this. Family is supposed to love unconditionally." But then, the truth started leaking. Quietly. One aunt, then a cousin, then another. Screenshots circulated. Voicemails replayed. The folder did what I always hoped it would. It spoke louder than any confrontation ever could. People started asking questions. Why wasn't I invited to Grandpa's birthday last year? Why was Vanessa using the family emergency fund when she's the only one with a stable salary? Why did Lily cry every time she had to hug Uncle Bill? The questions didn't stop. My parents tried to rally everyone. Held an emergency Zoom call. I didn't attend, but apparently people quietly left the meeting midway through. My mother stopped posting family photos. Vanessa deleted her account. And then the letter arrived. Monogrammed paper. Blue ink. Her handwriting, neat, controlled. My mother. Family is messy. We made mistakes. But at the end of the day, we're all we have. Don't punish everyone forever for one misunderstanding. Your daughter will regret this distance. So will you. I didn't respond. Instead, I framed the letter, hung it beside the sticky note that started it all. Try harder next year. And then I helped Lily hang fairy lights around her new bed. The soft ones. The kind that change colors slowly. Like breathing. Her breathing had changed too. Softer. Slower. Not tight and guarded like before. She made 2 new friends, girls from her art class. Gentle, curious souls who didn't laugh when she needed to cover her ears. Who waited when she needed a minute. Who stayed. She started sleeping through the night. One morning, she climbed into my lap and whispered, "My heart doesn't feel like it's buzzing anymore." I held her so tightly she squeaked. And then one last thing happened. At the end of the school year, her class hosted Family Day. Each student could invite one adult to sit with them, eat cookies, and admire their art. She chose me. Of course she did. Her project was a painting. Abstract galaxies swirling in soft pinks and blues. Little comets streaking across the canvas. And in the corner, in black paint, she had written, "Safe is better than big." On the way home, I asked if she wanted to stop for ice cream. She nodded, then paused. "Mom." "Yeah, baby. You did the right thing, even if they call you mean, even if they never talk to us again. You did the right thing." I blinked hard against the lump in my throat. "Thanks, sweetheart. That means everything." She leaned back in her seat, legs swinging, smiling. Later that night, just before bed, I checked my email one last time. There it was. From Vanessa. No subject line. No greeting. Just 6 words. "Are you happy now? You won." I didn't respond. Because she was wrong. I didn't win. I walked away. And for the first time in my life, I didn't look back. Maybe I went too far. Maybe I didn't go far enough. Sometimes I still wonder if I should have said more at that party. If silence was really the loudest thing I could have done. I wonder what Lily will remember, and what she won't have to unlearn. Because I stopped it in time. But now I want to ask you, if it were your child, would you have done the same? Would you have walked away? Fought back harder? Let it go? Tell me, did I do the right thing? Or did I cross a line?